towards the back.
That's it.
The potential hazards that exist on our roads are not just about dangerous driving causing accidents, but about the risks that occur in the aftermath of such a collision. Here, the emergency services are rehearsing just what they would do in the event of such an accident. How they'd jack up a car, how they'd put out a fire, how they'd get people who are injured and severely shocked out of those cars. Although such catastrophes are, of course, rare, the potential for them exists all of the time. And these people have to be ready for anything.
To confirm the fire spreading south along Foxhall Road, south-east inland. Though not committed, police can stop traffic on the promenade, Chapel Street, and south of Foxhall. They are blocking now emergency access.
In this sequence, shot by Lancashire Police Helicopter Support Unit, emergency services worked together to fight a spreading fire in Blackpool. The police helicopter was able to assist the fire brigade by relaying pictures and commentary to a control room, where senior fire and police officers coordinated the operation.
Yeah, we're attempting to make a PA broadcast. We're just trying to get the direction right. Can you ask if anybody on the ground received the last message we put out?
When the first fire tender arrived, only 5 minutes after the 999 call, the firefighters were confronted by a developing fire, which had engulfed all 3 floors of a large retail building.
From the air, it spread onto Dale Street to the eastern side of it.
Access to the building was made difficult by narrow streets and growing crowds. Parked cars were on fire, and the surrounding buildings were at risk from the intense radiated heat. The fire had started in a small stall in a shop which sold cheap butane cigarette lighters. When a few lighters caught fire, attempts to put out the growing flames by stamping on them only made the problem worse, as the plastic cases burst, releasing more fuel into the fire. The fire brigade was called and quickly arrived on the scene.
If I can inform the crew of the fire tender there that there is a problem on the roof of premises opposite to Shady Deal. There's a large heat buildup reported by the helicopter.
Using the thermal imaging camera, the helicopter could establish which buildings were most at risk from the burning embers, settling and collecting in gullies, creating new hotspots and additional fires. Here, the thermal image registers very high temperatures as white and extreme heat as red. Without swift action, this shop, registering as bright red, would have burst into flames. With detailed information from the helicopter, the fire brigade were able to concentrate their hoses on the most vulnerable buildings.
566, please head 2.
Oscar number 21 interrupting.
Number 21, go ahead.
Yeah, the property I mentioned on Dale Street, there is a large flat-roofed building behind that. I think it's a supermarket. There are 3 people on the roof of that. We believe they might be pressed, but they are rather close and in the line of the smoke and the burning debris. I'm struggling to say it. I'm looking on thermal image, can't see through the smoke otherwise.
4 to 3 people on the roof, possibly pressed, we're not sure. Can you get them down? They're in danger. 2-2.
Can you make to 2 Winton Avenue, please, and have a look down the drive there? There's a male seen to walk down the drive, and he hasn't come out. Pick down, please, and check it out.
Thank you.
He's in the rear yard of that property. They can approach it from the front or the rear. He's still there wearing a blue top. There's one officer knocking on the door of the premises. He's in the rear yard of that premises.
Hotel 656 is the rear of number 3. Number 3, Roger. 656. All patrols, be aware for your own safety. You make away from the seat of the fire. The building is expected to collapse any time now.
Through the intense heat and smoke, the thermal imaging camera was able to verify the fire was under control. This joint effort by the fire brigade and the police ensured the fire was subdued in less than 3 hours without a single fatality. The only injured victims were 2 firemen who had minor burns on their feet caused by heat radiating through their boots.
Yeah, Oscar November 2-1, the basic fire, the original fire appears to be out, although there's obviously still a lot of smouldering embers and that. There doesn't appear to be any flames anywhere that we can see now, but very unstable as well.
Aides around Britain are called out on nearly 1 million.